Michael, what do you got? Michael?
We want to know your thoughts. Let me
Hold
get in
on.
here, please.
Easy, guys. Let Michael get through here.
Let me through, please.
Come on, guys.
We
Easy.
want to know your.
Can we
wanna know
back
your-
up a little so we can all get a picture of it?
Come on, let's
Guys,
go.
relax. Don't worry about it. I'm not
You
worried
got
about
it, you got it, got it.
All right.
Go ahead,
We
Michael.
want to know your thoughts about the controversy surrounding Donald Trump's remarks about the judge in the Trump University case and his being of Mexican extraction and therefore having a conflict of interest.
Listen, you know, in the end, there are always going to be conflicts regarding civil lawsuits. People are always going to express their opinions. Those are Donald's opinions, and he has the right to express them. The same way anybody else has a right to express any of their views regarding how they're treated in the civil or criminal courts in this country. That's part of what free speech is all about. And frankly, you know, it kind of bothers me that you see the other side here, Secretary Clinton especially, taking this kind of high and mighty position of hers, when Secretary Clinton's had a lot to say over the course of her career as well, regarding vast right-wing conspiracies that turned out not to exist, and impugning the integrity of lots of other people. So let's focus on what needs to be focused on here. And quite frankly, I think you all are paying much too much attention to this. I know why, but you know it doesn't occupy. I know you know why, and I know why. It's not going to occupy.
Isn't that inconsistent, Governor, with what you said about
Let me finish my answer.
Is it racist?
Excuse me, or you won't get a question. You know me. I won't do it. Fact is that the media loves controversy. The media loves to pay attention to this stuff and to work it up. I understand why. I've lived with that over the course of time too. But the fact of the matter is that I can guarantee you that you know, people who are going to vote today in New Jersey and people who are going to vote in November are not going to make their decision based upon this kerfuffle.
But in all fairness, isn't this inconsistent with what you've said about your judicial nominations years ago, and when either race or ethnicity or religion is a focus?
No, listen, Matt, it's not inconsistent. When these are my nominations and when I'm defending people who I've nominated and who I know personally, I'm sure you're referring to Sohail Mohammed, and I knew Sohail personally, had worked with him for years. And so I knew that any allegations that Sohail, in that instance, was going to impose Sharia law or knew something about jihad, those were very specific things about someone that I knew personally. And when I have something to say about that, I'll say it. I don't know this judge. I don't know him personally. I don't know the history of the Trump University case. So I'm not going to get into speaking about all that. I've said this before, that I know Donald Trump. I've known him for 14 years. And Donald Trump is not a racist. And so, you know, the allegations that he is are absolutely contrary to every experience that I've had with him over the last 14 years. And so we're going to end it there.
So are those
Governor,
Paul
Ryan said
Not going into that next.
Paul Ryan
Next.
called it textbook racism today.
Listen, you know what? Congressman Ryan is entitled to his opinion, as is everybody else who has an opinion on this. I've expressed mine, and if all we're going to do is talk about this, I'm going to get in the car and go back because I've given you my opinion. You have other questions about it, answer them.
Was it a mistake?
Michael, I am not going to get into critiquing a campaign that we're in the middle of. There'll be plenty of times for post-mortem after the campaign is over, and you want to ask me about it then, that's fine. But I'm not going to microanalyze every bit of a campaign because you know what? The voters don't. And what matters here is winning and losing, first and foremost. And what matters here is where the country's direction will be after whoever wins this election. That's what I'm focused on. That's my job for Donald, is to focus on setting up a government once he's elected in November, and that's what my focus is for him. It's not in micromanaging. It's not in micromanaging the campaign. If we've got questions other than the the judge kerfuffle, I'm happy to answer them.
How about your approval
Otherwise,
rating,
I'm moving on.
Governor? There's a new 26%
My approval rating goes up and down in the state. I've said this before. Said when I was at 75%, I didn't believe it, and when I'm at 26%, I don't believe it. And the fact is that I don't govern, have never governed based upon my approval rating. You guys are much more concerned with my approval rating than I am. I'm never a candidate for office again in this state, and so quite frankly, my approval rating doesn't mean a lick to me. It didn't mean all that much to me when it was high, and it doesn't mean that much to me when I'm low. The fact is that I've got a job to do, and I have a tough job to do. And when you have to make difficult decisions, that's what happens. I've always said that you gather political capital in order to spend it. I've spent it on things that I thought were important. Now it's my opportunity over the next 18 months to build it back up. So not at all concerned about that. And nor, quite frankly, if I was, is there anything you can do about it today or tomorrow? Approval ratings go up and down over a long course of time. They've done it here. And quite frankly, the fact that I'm a two-term governor and have had the approval ratings I've had in a state that's one of the bluest states in the country is a fairly good testimony to the success of our policies and to the popularity of the way we've gone about them. So it goes up and down. I'm not worried.
Do you
about it.
plan on?
Who'd you vote for today?
You're less than the legislature for the first time.
It doesn't matter, yeah, by 1 point or something, I mean, which is statistically insignificant. I mean, you guys can have as much fun with it as you want. You may not believe this, I don't care.
But that's
If
coming
I were,
from your
excuse me,
constituents.
no, it's not coming from my constituents. The fact of the matter is that a pollster polls 400 people out of 8.9 million people. The same way that I said to all of you, I've been consistent about this. When my poll ratings were up at 75%, I said to you, I don't believe them, and it doesn't matter to me. If you say that it's 75, you're consistent when you say it at 26. It doesn't really matter to me, and it's not, by the way, consistent with the interaction that I